What's up, athletes? In this video today, you're going to hear about a case study of my student Puya, who was able to just go from literally failing a straddle planche press all the way to achieving his first ever full planche press in less than 2 months, and actually able to progress even to a few seconds of hold into the full planche press. So literally crazy progress from not being able to do straddle to the full with a press. So what I'm going to show you right now in this video is about his programming, because I think the one thing that was really able to make us such a crazy level, it's the fact that his programming was so on point on his strength, on his weaknesses, and on his exact level. Okay, so that's why I want to break down everything related to the program and to make sure that you will understand everything about how he was able to achieve it, and maybe it will help you to achieve the same progress as well if you are right now at the straddle to the full planche level. So first of all, he was training only 2 days a week. Most of the time, for most of my students, I'm giving them only 2 days a week of training, if it's for planche or for front lever, just because I found it the most useful. So I will see you right now on push A and push B. Now, these are the first few weeks inside my coaching. So he was able to do full planche for only 3 seconds, okay? And I then gave him some half lay holds and then dumbbell planche press. Now, the dumbbell planche press is working there as a supplementary exercise because, as we said, he can't do the full planche or even the straddle planche press yet. So on push A, we made sure that he's working a lot on his holds. Okay, you can see 3 sets of full planche holds, another 3 sets of the half lay, which are more of like another variation for more seconds. Okay, you can see the difference in the seconds. And of course, the double planche press is the exact same movement as the planche press, but you're doing it with dumbbells just to get more strength at that range of motion, and actually to improve and making sure that you will be able to convert it into the straddle planche press or the full planche press. Okay, so the dumbbell planche press is actually quite a slept on exercise that I truly think can really help to some of you. And to be honest, this is just about the rest time and the effort, or the comment that I gave him. For example, stop when technique fails, or 1 to 2 seconds in reserve when it comes to the half lay, or a slow negative when it comes to the dumbbell planche press, and then a slow negative to get even more time under tension in that movement. So push A was all about holds and getting him used to the movement of the press. Now push B, first of all, you can see that the first holds are 5 sets of 6 to 12 seconds with the light bend, okay? So it's a full planche with a light bend. It's just to make sure that he will gain more volume at the full planche while still being very specific. So instead of doing it, for example, 6 to 12 seconds in straddle, we're doing it with the light bend in full. So that's how it works, and that's how he was able to increase his holds significantly, and it also gave him better strength towards the press. Now the second exercise, you can always see that it was planche press in straddle, but actually these were only attempts at the start of the few weeks, okay? Because as you saw also on the video, he wasn't really able to do straddle planche presses, even not clean ones, okay? So he was just jumping or using momentum, but as he got stronger and as the weeks progressed, he was able to get this straddle press, just one press, to a negative. He was able to get it from failing it and doing it in bad form to actually succeeding it with 2 seconds before the press. Okay, so we can say that the only sets that were specifically on the press are just these 3, but with these 2 combined, and with getting better at the full planche holds, he was actually able to progress massively in the full planche press as well, because both movements is just shoulder flexion. It's the exact same movement. One is horizontal and one is, sorry, not horizontal, but one is static and one is dynamic. So it's literally the same, and that's why I made sure that even if he wants to achieve better presses, of course that he has this sets, which are very specific to the press, these three, and these two are also quite specific with the dumbbell planche press, but the holds were the main thing that we've also worked on, especially in the first 1 to 2 months. Now, this plan right here is the plan for the third and for the 4 month. So of course that we've changed some things. Even on the plan here for the second month, we made sure to change some things, and this was the first plan of the 3rd month. So you can see the progress. He was able to move on to the full planche press with 1 second and the fast negative and 2 seconds of hold. Okay, so on the first start, just on the 3rd month, as I said, he was able to progress crazy in just 2 months, and he's 36 years old. He was able to get to the full planche press and doing it with a negative and a hold at the end. Now after that, we made sure again that holds are the main thing that he needs to still be prioritized in, to make sure that he's getting better in shoulder flexion. So even if it's after the presses, we still want to do it in full planche, so we've just done it with the medium bend, which is just like the light bend. Okay, so 4 to 8 seconds, and then we continued with the dumbbell planche press. Now you can also see that it right now between 14 to 16 kg, and here it was 10 to 12.5. So we was also able to progress in the dumbbell planche press. Why is that? Because there is a huge correlation between the dumbbell planche press and the planche press itself. So this was push A. You can see that on the first 1 to 2 months, push A was mostly about holds, but here it's already about presses. Now push B instead was more about the full planche holds, and right now we progressed from 3 to 6 seconds of hold, actually starting very low on the 3 side. He was able to progress up to 6 and 7 seconds on the 3rd month. So again, this is literally a crazy progress both in the holds and in the presses. And after that, he was still able to do straddle planche presses after the full planche holds, straddle planche presses, but actually not one, but sometimes 2 reps, or 1 second before and 1 second after. So again, from failing straddle planche press to be able to do it at the middle of the workout, 1 second to a press, to a hold, or 2 just straddle planche presses, which is literally crazy. So this specific structure worked significantly for him. I didn't really talk about the pseudo planche push-ups right here and right here, but it also really helped him just to get better at the range of motion of the shoulder flexion. And basically he also just liked this exercise, so I kept it in the plan itself. But you can see that right now in push A, he started just to do full planche presses, and on push B was able to do planche presses in straddle for 2 reps. So literally that's a crazy progress. This is something that you most of the time not really seeing in such a short time, for example, in 2 months or even less than that. And it was just because he had the right guidance, and of course that he also had the right programming around everything related to the planche press. So of course that this specific structure will help you to some degree, but if you actually want to progress the fastest way, you have to make sure that the structure and the guidance is specifically for you. And that's exactly what I'm doing with my students in the online coaching. You can see other students' results in my Instagram. And if you're actually serious about entering into the one-on-one coaching and progressing exactly like Puya, you can just go down to the link in the description and just hop on a free call. We will see if you can actually fit into the coaching team, if I can actually help you to achieve faster progress, better progress, because most of the time it's not depends on me, it depends on you and how much you are actually serious about your journey. If that's you and you want to progress faster, book a call down below and let's start your calisthenics journey to the next level.